Yo, so I am going to be power ranking every single team that is participating in the Overwatch League Pro-Am tournament. And you know what? I'm going to be very wrong with these power rankings. I'm telling you right now, I think everyone is going to be very wrong with these power rankings because these are brand newly formed teams that are playing in a tournament that has dubious, amounts of preparation. They're maybe not preparing for this even as much as they would the regular season, right? They've probably been maybe a bit more lax on scrims depending on team to team. And also, there are contenders teams here. The meta is crazy wide open. I think teams will be playing what they are feeling comfortable on, and maybe they'll be trying out some stuff they wouldn't otherwise. Maybe New York will pull up with Anion and Halo playing most of the time over Creative Left. It's possible. Maybe they won't evolve. Maybe they aren't even on the team because New York hasn't officially given a roster. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. But I'm going to try and do it anyway because why not? So, starting off at number 20, of course, I have Wisp. This is not shocking. This is not crazy. They were the last NA contenders team to qualify. I think it's kind of, you kind of have to put them at the bottom. You don't have to. I guess you could wager, Timeless if you want. You could put them above them, but they literally lost to them, a week or two ago, however long ago it was now. So I don't know. It's tough. I'm very excited to see how Rocket and Chopper play in Overwatch League competition, but the rest of this team, not too excited for. Maybe Ymetra a little bit. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But, I don't know. I think 20 is very valid here. Also, disclaimer, have not watched a ton of contenders. Obviously, I'm more comfortable with the Owl teams. I've watched an alright amount of, the final couple teams. So Wisp, admittedly, I have not watched too much Wisp. Or Timeless, who was going at number 19. I'm actually less excited for most of the play. Oh, I'm using the wrong one. There we go. So I'm actually less excited for a lot of players on Timeless than Wisp, but I think as a team, they are probably more cohesive. I like Kuffa, but I don't know. Bottom two teams, whatever. Next up, I will be putting in the Vegas Eternal. I will be doing it. I don't know. Adding Rhino, if they do add Rhino, which is the leak, which I'm assuming is going to be correct, because it just makes so much sense. Of course Rhino's going to the roster with Odyssey. Hello? It just works. So I think Rhino does add a lot for this team, but I am not too crazy. What is even this team's comfort pick? If you're running Tracer Hit Scan, I'm not even rating that too highly. I think they're missing the best part of Odyssey whenever they were playing it in contenders. Whenever this was a contenders team with Tree. So it's what is... I don't know what the strong point of this roster is. I guess the backline. The backline's pretty decent. I like the backline. I like Luke and Rack. But at the same time, I'm not up in arms. I'm not let's go Vegas, There are some hardcore Vegas supporters. I'm not one of them. And honestly, I think that my team at, what is this? Fucking 19, 18, I can't read. 17 is going to be Redbirds Esports. So Redbirds, they've been together a lot. The core of this team is, they are missing a main support if Liar is going to the Valiant like the leaks say, and I don't know who that is right now. But I think this team's good. Vision, Grafton, both looked really good in the qualifiers. Excited to see them. I think Gig Moving Fish, pretty solid as well. Renko, I like as a, flex support prospect. And they're a pretty good team. I think that could be Vegas for sure. I don't know if they're in the same group. I forget the groups off the top of my head. But, yeah. Okay, number 16. For 16, I am going to go with the LA Valiant, I believe. So Valiant, I actually don't think this roster is that, but people are clowning on it, but I think Seeker and Nos are two pretty talented players. Cry didn't have a fantastic last year, but literally, what do you want from him? That was an awful situation to be thrown into. CJ impressed me a lot, and Liar, main support player, sure, why not? I think that the Valiant is... Now, I still have them as a bottom 2 Owl team and bottom 5 in the tournament, but I don't think the level of play is going to be as abysmal as a lot of people think. Then I'm actually going to go with New York, which might be against what a lot of people are thinking. So it depends on what they do here. There has been some talks about them just playing Anion Halo, which I think is very, very reasonable to say would be a lower caliber DP or support line rather than Creative Left. But if they do play that mostly, they could go below Valiant. They could go even below Redbirds. I value Creative a lot. But I think even if they split play time or whatever they look like, this team has fits. I think Kellen has potential there, especially if they want to lean into Winston. Please don't slap this man on heroes he's not comfortable on. I don't want to see Kellen rolling out on a Zarya for no reason. I don't think Zarya is very good right now, but I don't want to see anything like that. Even Diva, try and keep him off Sigma as much as you can. I want to see Kellen lean into being a strong Winston player, because Winston, I wouldn't be surprised if the playoff patch is largely the same like archetype as the best comp in the game right now. There are a lot of different options, and we'll see based on whatever the top team plays, probably. But I just want to see them lean into the Winston stuff. Hopefully they do, and then they're still going to be, you know, pretty low. But I have them at number 15. But there is some glimmers of hope there. Shockwave, Psycho, even. I think it's okay. Next, for number 14, I'm going to go with Trick Room. So Trick Room, very fun team. A lot of Rhine stuff here. I do question how valid the Reinhardt compositions are going to be against the Owl teams. We'll see. London will show us as well, hopefully. We'll see about that whenever we get up to London. But off of the Rhine comps, they have some validity, you know, with the Wrecking Ball and stuff. But the Rhine comp was really what they were strong at. It's what got them to second. And I'm always looking forward to seeing this team play. They're a fun team to watch. Pummy had a really good Sombra. The adaptations they made was pretty good. He had a very good Widowmaker as well. And we'll see how they do. Very coordinated team. That's where their strength is here. Maybe not the individual pop-off as much, but the coordination was very strong. They're like a mini London, in my opinion. In a kind of weird way, they were a mini London. Next up, I'm going to go with the first EU team in Team Peps. So I didn't watch a ton of the EU contenders, I'll be honest with you. But from what I did see, the Reinhardt comp was good. Whenever they went up against Twisted Minds and they needed to adapt, they adapted pretty successfully. No, they weren't better than Twisted Minds whenever they tried to play, you know, the Echo stuff. But I think there is potential here. You get some pretty known names. You have four former Owl players, sorry. And while Hybrid may be a bit infamous in Owl at this point for the clip that we all are aware of and all get flashbacks to, but I think as a team, they're a classic EU team. They have some Rhine options, they have some Echo options, and their adaptation was pretty quick. So I like them at number, 13. And above them, I'm going to go with the Washington Justice. So Washington, I made the video that was like, this is not the worst team in Owl, and I stand by that. They got a good amount of teams below them. But they're really going to go as far as I think Alfie and Flora take them. Ben Best, well, it'll be interesting to see how well he does. It'll be interesting to see how well Mirror does, especially if they want to go on some Doomfist stuff. Teru FD got all this team. It's a kind of a big question mark for how good are all these players individually going to be, and how good will they be if you smash them all together. I think there is some validity here if they want to play Reinhardt stuff. I think Alfie can pop off on a variety of flex support or flex DPS characters. Sorry, we'll see. I think they're going to be better than most people say, but I don't think they're going to be all that, maybe. Next, I'm actually going to go with Twisted Minds. So Twisted Minds impressed me a lot. Mostly a team of Saudi Arabian players, and they have a lot of talent across the board. Kasa, a lot on the Diva there, you see him. You get Echo Farah stuff. Quartz very good at the hit scan. They play in a way that I would say most teams aren't going to be familiar with. Now, with Twisted Minds and Peps, there are some ping issues because they're playing from London, England, not London, Ontario. I don't know, no one else thought that, but yeah, they're playing from London, so there will be some ping issues. So that is something to keep in mind. But because Twisted Minds is like, I don't know where their base of operations is, but because most of them are Saudi Arabian, I'm assuming they were based in Saudi Arabia. Maybe I'm wrong. So they probably will be more used to it than everyone else in the tournament. And I don't know if they're going to make the Owl teams match their ping or something, or if they're just going to say, this is the best we can do for you, have a good try. But I think they're bringing a really unique view on the game right now that I highly doubt any team will play. At least any of the leaked scrims didn't have anything like they're doing. So I think they might throw some teams off guard, and they genuinely will be very good, but they will be limited by the ping maybe. Next up, I'm going to go with the London Spitfire at number 10, right in the middle. I don't know what the hell London's going to do. I don't know if they're going to commit to the Reinhardt stuff. If the Reinhardt comp, if they commit to it and it ends up being very good, they could honestly go as high as 6th, maybe 5th. They could go up really high. It's kind of the same with Trick Room. You could put Trick Room higher. Washington, if they're playing the Rush. All of these Rush-style teams that are kind of bunched down here, depending on how much they need to branch out from that, will depend on where I rank them. Right now, I'm going to assume it will probably, the Owl teams will be able to take angles on it really well, use the Zenyatta on it kind of stuff, and just kind of spread out around them. I think it'll be a good option, but I don't think it'll be good enough to really win you matches. Maps, maybe? Matches as a whole? Not sure. So I'm going to go with Linden here. They haven't improved that much either as a team. I mean, Lethal's a good addition for a Tracer, Sparker kind of ball kind of composition would be nice, but we'll see. We'll see what they're up to. Next, I'm going to go with Saints, the last contenders team standing. This team is genuinely just a very good team. Tree is going to be the best player in the lobby, I think, in a significant amount of matchups. You have Mikey, who was just in Grand Finals, right? King, former Owl, False, looks good whenever you put him on his characters. Do not put him on Winston. They won't have to. You get him on his Diva, his Sigma. He will compete at a pretty reasonable level, I think. Now, they did lose CJ to Valiant, reportedly. I mean, CJ's left the team, so he has to be here, basically. He's not there. So there is something there that I think would be worth... It does lower them a little bit because I was very impressed by CJ, and we'll see how Squid does in relief. But I'm pretty impressed with this team overall, and I think they could genuinely make it to the bracket. Their group is pretty... they have to get past London is the big one for them. Do you get past London? So I kind of think they will right now, but I might be rating Tree a little too highly, putting a bit too much faith in him. But we'll see. I'm very excited for Saints. Next up, we only have Owl teams remaining, and I'm going to go with the Florida Mayhem. So I'm a big Florida enjoyer. I love someone. I do think I've been on record and I said someone will be the best tank of Overwatch League Season 6, but I can't get around RuPaul as your only flex support right now. I just can't get around it because his BAP is so good. I love his BAP, but are you really committing to a Baptiste comp most of the time? Probably not. I'm not sold on the Ana, the Zenyatta stuff. We just didn't see it that much. So it's like, I'm not sold on it. I don't know if it's there. It probably is there to an extent, but how much? And I think comparing to a lot of teams above them, RuPaul will be a tier down from a lot of the flex supports. Now, they have a lot of advantages. Merit's very good. Checkmate's super flexible. I would like to see, I don't know if more consistency, but more like, he feels a little bit underwhelming to me a lot of the time. So I'd like to see that also. So there's two spots that I'm a little like, But I like Florida a lot. A lot of people will have them higher because Gunba's very good. Someone's very good. But we'll see. They've always been a team, last season at least, that was very slow to figure out what they want to do in a meta. You don't have time for that. You have one weekend of groups. You have one weekend of bracket. You're done. That's what it is. So I don't think they're going to have the time to adapt, play how they want to play, and really figure out and solve the meta. They don't have time for that. So I think they will be kind of rated lowly. And I think they will lose to the next team I'm putting up at number 7, sorry. I can't read. I can't count. And the Vancouver Titans, who are in the same group. So, Vancouver, here's my thing with Vancouver. Aspire, Sugarfree, I'm very high on both of them. Sugarfree, we need to see him in Modern Overwatch, for sure. I could be overrating him right now. Maybe he doesn't get right back into it. Maybe he starts off kind of slow. I'm going to choose to believe that he is going to be Himothy. I like this team. I trust Punk in a elevated solo tank position. Yeah, we need to see him on his Doomfist, he played a little bit, but we still need to see his Doomfist. We need to see the Winston. He played a little bit of Punky as well last season for some reason on that team. I like that. I think he'll be able to really level up in this role as the solo tank on this team. Crimzo's a goated Zen. I want them to play around the Zenyatta comps as much as you can, because I think Crimzo is genuinely a absolutely elite Zenyatta, and I think this is the team he's going to finally prove it undoubtedly once and for all. I'm here for it. I like Vancouver a lot. I'm a big Vancouver fan. Now, LA Gladiators. So, I have the Gladiators at 6 here. I know the scrim results look bad. I don't care that much. I think this team on paper is just too good. And a few leaked scrims, I don't even know if it was more than one map. Or, no, because I played the Toronto scrim as well, sorry. But, I look at Kevster, Yaki, Kai, and I'm like, Kevster has to make this team at least top 6, right? I could reasonably put Gladiators probably below Florida, is as far as I would let them drop, but the sheer talent is just insane. Dante will always be able to fall back on the Doomfist. Worst case scenario, they come out on the Doomfist. Whatever. Funny Astro on the Lucio, top level. I think that if they want to play around their team's strengths, which they very well could, like, you can run it with a Tracer Genji even. We saw some Genji in contenders. I know he's not as good as he was. If they want to just say, fuck it, we're going to let Kevster Yaki go crazy with Dante on Doom, that sounds pretty good to me. I won't lie to you. It sounds all right. It sounds like they could go this high just on mechanics alone. So, until I see it, the Gladiators are going to be in for me. Next, top 5. I'm going to go with Toronto. This could be Toronto bias, because honestly, I could put Toronto as low as where Florida is, if I'm feeling it. But I'm going to go with top 5. This team, it's a good team. It's a good team. You have the AT synergy still. Maybe, they said the synergy's kind of lost. They have been, it's been a minute, right? It's been a minute since they were all together. But I think they'll find it. I think Kaluj, I'm pretty confident in him being able to play whatever he wants to. The Diva stuff, the Doomfist stuff, probably. Now, the Winston, you could say, well, I don't know about his Winston. He doesn't have a proper anymore with him or anything like that. Maybe, but I think they'll be able to play around it. I think they're going to take this relatively seriously. I'm looking forward to this. I don't know. I'm just... I don't know. I like this team. The backline's also very solid. I think UVOG. There's some doubters right now. The doubters might be shushed. I can't say that word. Also, I think it's worth mentioning, if Toronto do want to lean into Speedly on Echo and really enable him, they are probably in a position to do that. If it is at least as effective as Twisted Minds make it look, they should be able to really dig in and get really comfortable with their compositions and do what they know will work. I'm not too concerned about a Tracer player or anything either, so I like that a lot. We'll see if they do it. I kind of think they will, because Speedily just loves to play the Echo, so we'll see, but we'll see. Number 4, I am going to go with the Houston Outlaws. I'm going with Houston at number 4. So my problem with Houston is, as I think about this, I always look back, I'm like, yeah, Fearless, Shu, Violet and Lucio, whatever, they could play double flex. I think Violet's still maybe not top 5, Lucio, but he's right around there. After another offseason, he's only going to get better than he was last season. So I am looking forward to him there. And then I'm like, Happy Pelican. And I'm like, how is Happy Pelican really matching up to the teams I have left on the board? To proper Heesang, Lip Stalker, and then whatever the fuck Boston's cooking. And I'm like, if you're playing Tracer Hitscan, I kind of rate them below all of these teams. For sure. I don't know. I'm not sold on Happy Pelican being your top 3 caliber DPS line. I think Fearless has a lot of work. I think Shu's going to have a lot of work as well. And I like Pelican. I love Pelican. Maybe that's a little cap. I have been known as a Pelican hater, but I believe in Pelican at least. I don't know if I believe in top 3 right now. That's just like the big thing for me. If Happy Pelican pull up and they're like, oh, they're good to go? Okay, my bad. Next up, number 3. I'm going to go with Atlanta. This is a lot of people's number 1. So you're thinking, how is Boston still here? Sit down. It's not that serious. Just sit down for a moment. So here's with Atlanta. Lip Stalker. Lip's the best hit scan in the world. Stalker is going to be insane this season, I think. The potential's there. This support line's insane. Fielder, Vigilante, Chio, what more do you want? Donghack, Hawk. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay. Donghack, Wrecking Ball, pretty good. Hawk, Doomfist, pretty good. Very good. Both of them very good. And then I'm like, what if a team shuts down either of those compositions? Like, yeah, Donghack on Winston, sure. Hawk can play some Diva stuff, things like that. But, like, I don't know. I feel like the good teams, the teams above them, even teams below them, potentially, will be able to shut down that kind of stuff, that kind of style. I don't think you'll be able to spam it everywhere. I think you'll be able to spam it a lot. I don't know if you'll be able to spam it everywhere. So I'm like, I'm just feeling like a number 3 right now. Which, it's solely based off of the tank matchups, basically. Not solely, but it's the biggest part for me, is I'm like, maybe I'm just tripping. I could be. But I'm going to go with Boston number 2, Atlanta number 3, and then Shock number 1, obviously. So, Boston, here's my thing with Boston. Yes, their DPS line does have some holes if you're playing a hard flex comp, like a double flex, Tracer Genji, Tracer Echo, if you're playing Tracer plus not a hit scan. They're not going to have to do that, I think. I think they will be able to solidly run Tracer plus a hit scan this entire tournament, probably, and not miss anything. So it's like, there is a hole in that DPS line for this tournament. I don't think it's there. I just don't think it's going to be there. I don't think it's going to matter. And then I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I am relying on Bird Ring to be very good at, and that's a lot. He's taking a break, so maybe he won't. But I'm going to put my faith in Bird Ring. I'm going to put my faith in Decay. That's top 10 words said before disaster. Smurf, never a doubt, and this backline's insane. If I want, that's the only problem we can have. Now, the coaching staff is also a problem, maybe. But if your only problem with this team, the biggest one, DPS line, I don't think it'll be a problem right now. So that's why I'm going to put them number 2. And then San Francisco Shock, yes, they are on ping right now. I believe. Or at least there's worries that they won't make it to NA in time for this tournament. My thing is, surely they're back in time for the bracket. Because they play this weekend. There's a weekend break for the next 2 groups. And then it's a tournament. Will they really not be back in time for that tournament? I feel like they will be. So it's like, you get out of groups, you make it to the bracket, you're not on ping anymore. Surely the Shock still get out of groups. Are we saying that Florida and Vancouver are going to overtake them because they're on Korean ping? Maybe. I kind of doubt it, though. So I'm going to go with Shock. There's no holes in this roster. It looks fucking insane. At least for this tournament, I don't see anything crazy. Yeah, you can down Vindium on Flex, whatever. I think he's still very good. Maybe you don't like Proper on Hitscan full-time. I think Proper Hitscan will still be a top 3 Hitscan player in this league. I'm just like, it could be better. I'm like a king with a $10 million. I own the entire kingdom, and I'm like, yes, but there is this pond over there, and I want that pond. So can I have it? And then the people that own the pond, the other kingdom, they're like, no, you can't have our pond. And then I'm like, oh, my kingdom sucks. That's what I'm saying with Shock. So it's like, it's whatever. I think this is going to be it. I don't know if this is necessarily the order. I don't know if this is even the top 6. This is just what I'm thinking right now. And let me know if you disagree down below in the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below as well. I do have a Discord server, which will be in the description. You can join that if you want to post your own tier list, maybe. But, yeah. Have yourself a good one. And, shock the world, I guess.